the footballgameplan.com, where football makes sense. I'm Emery Hunt, the czar of the playbook. Bring you our AnyGivenSaturday.com FCS Game of the Week preview between the Sam Houston State Bearcats and the McNeese State Cowboys. So let's take a look at some keys to victory for both teams, starting with the Bearcats.
When you look at the Bearcats in this ball game last week versus Lamar, the Cardinals matched physicality with them in the trenches, so they can't let that happen this week versus McNeese. And Blake Bell's efficiency this week versus the Cowboys is key. He's going to have to spread the ball around and get many different receiving targets involved. And defensively, the Cowboys attack your discipline and your athleticism, and going against a well-balanced offensive attack, it forces you as a defense to take one option away, and the strength of this defense is their defensive line. So taking away Marcus Wiltz, the running back, is going to be key this week for the Bearcats. Now let's move over to McNeese in this ball game, and they're coming off a bye week with 2 weeks to prepare for this Bearcat offense. And defensively, I wouldn't be hesitant to put an extra guy in the box to stop the run. You want to make quarterback Brian Bell consistently make plays throwing the football. And on offense, I would try to get Marcus Wilson, their outstanding tailback, matched up with the linebacker one-on-one in the passing game to try to take advantage of their perimeter defense and also their ability to try to tackle your best athletes in space. Now here are some coaching points for both teams in this ball game. For Sam Houston State, you want to reestablish the line of scrimmage on defense. Two things this will do. Number one, it will collapse the pocket in the passing game. And also, number two, it will help you better be in position to stop the run. And two things you can't do. Number one, you can't get cute in the running game. You have guys in the backfield that can make plays on their own. You don't have to create plays for them to make. And you don't want to get out of position versus the run. Otherwise, Wiltz will burn you for big gains on the ground. And for McNeese in this ball game, you want to trust your personnel on the corners. Like I've said before, don't hesitate to put an extra guy in the box to stop the run. Trust your personnel on the flanks to match up one-on-one with their wide receivers. You want to make this a horizontal game. It plays to your athleticism advantage. You don't want to make these guys run downhill, so you want to win early in the run defense department, especially from the B gap to the A gap. And touchdowns are your friend versus a team like Sam Houston State that can really pile on the points. So you want to make sure you capitalize in the red zone with 7 instead of field goals. The X factor for Sam Houston State will be their offensive line, in particular the tackles. Can they get to the edge in a running game versus McNeese State? If they can do that, they can have success running the football. The X factor in this game for McNeese will be offensive coordinator Tim Legger and what he can dial up versus a very talented defense that has a stud at every level, defensive line, linebacker, and in the secondary. And we know how creative he is and how well they can put points on the board, but this will be his biggest test as of yet. Now here are some 2014 draft prospects you want to keep an eye on in this ball game. And if you're a big fan of outstanding running back play, you're going to love what you see from Timothy Flanders and Marcus Wilson in this matchup. And on the defensive line, two guys are going to have huge games for their respective teams in order for their team to have success. Everett Elfson on the defensive line for McNeese State and Gary Lawrence for Sam Houston State. But top to bottom, a lot of pro prospects in this ball game. Lish Adams is one of the best linebackers in Sam Houston State history. Here's a guy that was a 2-time All-American and a 3-time All-Conference performer, wrapped up his Bearcat career with 17 career sacks and 383 tackles. Buford Jordan was one of the best running backs in Louisiana college football history, played at McNeese State from 1980 to 1983. And here's a guy that was a first-team All-Southland Conference, the first 4,000-yard rusher in conference history, and in 1980 was the Freshman of the Year. I like Sam Houston State in this ballgame. I think they have the defense to slow down what McNeese wants to bring to the table offensively. And I think on offense, what they'll do, they'll slow the pace down, they'll run downhill and take care of business on the road out there in Lake Charles.